Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. In this video we're going to have a look at Peter's B175 and we're going to get the new electronics from the Electrex World kit, the ignition and charging kit, and we're going to make a mounting plate and get them on the bike. So you know, a step forward really on the B175, ready for the new wiring harness to be made. So we'll go over to the bench and we'll have a look at doing this job. And I'm not going to waffle in the intro like I always do. Let's get straight into it and get on with it. Right, we're back at the bench, familiar territory. Quite a bit going on at the moment. I've been working on the D7. I mentioned in my catch-up video that I had a bit of work to do on the D7. You can see the battery charger in the background there. I'm just charging up the battery. I've woefully neglected it, unfortunately. Shame on me. So it's quite flat at the moment, but hopefully I haven't killed it and it will come back up. But I've only got myself to blame if it doesn't. I've never had a trickle charger on it or anything like that, which I really should have done, especially when it's been laid up for quite a long time. They don't take to these modern AGM, annual general meeting type batteries, they don't take to neglect very well. So yeah, hopefully that will come back up and be serviceable. I did mention I was going to change the carburetor, and I've now done that. I said I was going to get a concentric, and I've gone for the Wassell version of the concentric, the Evolution carburetor. Quite a few improvements over the originals, hard anodized sliding components. I think the alloy of the body is a better material overall, and they have the accessible pilot jet as well for ease of tuning. So hopefully that will solve the sort of rough running that the worn out old monoblock was giving us, and hopefully pep it up a little bit as well. But knowing the D7, it will probably repay my care and attention with petulance and obstinacy and downright stubbornness, because it usually does. But who knows, it might cherish its new carburetor and actually behave itself for once. We'll see, won't we? I'm waiting for some more gearbox oil because I've run out of oil, so I've put an order in to get some more oil. So waiting for that before we can start it up, and obviously charging the battery up. And it will start without a battery, but I'd rather have everything, you know, in there and sort of get that integrity back. So we will get around to starting at the D7 at some point, and you know, I will share with you the successes or whatever. Whatever else we end up with. But yeah, I shall let you know. Anyway, the main event, as you can see, is something a little bit different. This is the Electrex World kit for Peter's B175, and I've got the regulator rectifier on that side, and I'm going to put the CDI control box a nice jaunty angle on the other side, and then the ignition coil will fit here. Just need to machine up a couple of little standoff bobbins just to lift that up off the mounting plate, just to make the wiring a bit more comfortable. So we're going to go over to the lathe in a little while and do that, which will be nice because we've not done any lathe work for a bit. Well, not on camera at least anyway. So that will be good. I mean, just two simple standoffs, but you know, nice to fire up the lathe and do a little bit of turning. But those of you in the know will have realised that this design of this sort of method of mounting the CDI components is borrowed heavily from my good friend Bones, who uses this method to mount his own CDI kits, the ones that he manufactures. And I have to say, I don't think there's a better way, quite frankly, of doing it. So this thing mounts underneath the fuel tank. It's suspended on large P-clips from the top tube, and you just have everything in one place. You know, you have all the components, nice and compact. If you were to mount them under the seat or in the battery compartment, you'd have sort of bits everywhere and different brackets. This method, it puts everything in one place, all the wiring nice and tidy, you know, and underneath the tank as well, completely protected really from the weather. So you're not going to get any sort of, you know, water dribbling down onto it or anything like that. So hats off to Bones for coming up with this idea, yeah, we've borrowed it because like I say, there's no better way as far as I can see. Also, you know, a nice bit of handmade. I think will be a nice touch, a sort of a personal touch for Peter's bike, that I've made something that's going to go on there and hopefully be on there for a long time. You know, most of the work I've done to the bike has been, you know, really spare part surgery, cleaning, restoring, mechanical work. So to make a part for it, I think would be nice. Just a little bit of a personal touch from me for my time with the bike. So I'm kind of pleased with that as well. We'll do all the radii nice and make it, you know, make it look lovely and polish it all up when it's finished. Obviously you won't see it, it's under the tank, but you know, we'll make it all look nice using these button-headed cap heads with some nice Simmons nuts on the back. So yeah, it should stay together and work very well. So I think we'll go over to the lathe and turn up these mounting bobbins or standoffs if you prefer, and we'll get all the wiring nice and tidy. We'll get that all spaced out and drilled, and pretty much that will be it. We'll be able to fit it to the bike once we've tidied it up. Right, I've got you on the lathe. I've magnetised you to the tailstock cam, which I think is the best place really. I've got a lamp shining at the magnetic lamp shining at the workpiece there, so hopefully you can see. It's a bit dark, even though it's, you know, quite bright outside, bright sunshine outside. I've got the lights on in the workshop. Yeah, there's a bit of a shadow in this corner of the workshop, so hopefully you can see anyway. So we're going to have a go at making these little standoffs. I've got a piece of aluminium bar stock in the lathe, just an offcut. Hopefully there's enough there. I think there is. I've set the stop, so yeah, should be good. So we're going to make a couple of little standoff bobbins. Oh, train going past. I've got the door open, I may have to close it. You'll be hearing trains to London and trains from London going past. Yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, so 2 standoff bobbins. We want them about 10.5mm in diameter, and we want them about 6mm long. Thereabouts, and as long as they are equal, so we're not on the wonk. I don't think we have to be micrometer accurate, but we'll make them as good as we can make them, won't we? So, given that we want them 10.5 in diameter, I've zeroed out the caliper at 10.5, and we can just see how much we need to take off. 14.99, so yeah, 15mm there or thereabouts. So we need to take 15mm off the bit of bar, reduce it in size, drill it out, and then part it off. And the amount of stick out I've got there, I've got enough to get my 2 6mm and leave allowance for the parting tool, which is 3mm wide. So you've always got to allow for that as well. So we'll just face it off first, and then we'll get down to the nitty gritty of reducing it in diameter. So just check the lathe over, make sure it's not in gear, make sure that we've got the right speed selected. Switch it on would be a good thing to do. Check for the chuck key. All good. I could probably go a little bit faster than this, but to be honest with you, I think we'll live with it. I'm just going to take a tiny amount. tip might be off actually. I have to change it, but we'll see how we get on. We'll have a little bit of spray. It's a little bit better, isn't it? Probably could do with going a little bit faster, but we'll just end up getting long pieces of aluminium string firing at us. And that, my friends, we can well do without. Well, this is going to be rather exciting for you guys, isn't it? Watching me do this time and time again until we've taken our 15mm off. So I will stop you there. I'll bring you back when we've got something else to do, like drilling a hole or parting off. Okay, this should be our last cut. Get it down to size. I've been taking it at 2mm at a time, and it's been perfectly fine. So take another 2mm and we should be just about there, or at least as near as we need to be. Right, the moment of truth. So the caliper's reading -1050 when it's closed, so should be on about 0.02. 0.02. So we'll call that good enough, and we will stick a hole down it. And what we need now is a centre drill, stick in our drill chuck. Let me get that set up. And right, you're back. All action tailstock cam. Let's just make a little bit of a start for our drill bit. That will do. And we'll put some drills through it. Quite generous with the pilot side. It's not going to wander around too much in this aluminium bar. I think it's a 2000 series bar. So if you've ever heard the phrase aircraft grade materials when you've been buying something, It actually is true on this occasion. Let's go a bit more to make sure that we've got enough. Nothing worse than parting off and finding that you've not gone all the way through. Well, I imagine there's lots of things that are worse than that, but in this context, let's say that. Should be plenty, I think. Right. Go to final size. Let's give ourselves a bit more to play with. Right. One hole. We'll get set up to part off and do some deburring. Right, I don't know how much of this you're going to see, but we're all set up. Everything nice and square, and parting tool set to give us. I decided to go for 5mm in the end, more than adequate. With a little bit of pin there in the chuck, in the drill chuck, just to catch our piece when it comes off. And there, and set the edges off very carefully, being very aware of the rotating disaster that is the chuck. There's one. We'll just unlock the carriage and move the tool the appropriate amount for the next one. Just using my little travel dial, my vernier travel dial, which is supremely accurate. Right. Let's do another one. Nothing wrong with a bit of lubrication. very careful with this file now. Job. Over to the bench for cleanup. A bit of deburring. You see what my catcher in the rye was? Blind rivet. That's my little catcher pin. Okay. My two little simple spacer bobbin standoffs. Dave. Call them whatever you like. Let's have a look. Oop. That's it again, knocking the camera. So that is going to go on there. They're going to just hold it off the mounting plate, and they're going to hold it off just the right amount. So very happy with that. So we need to get it marked out and get some holes in it, in the plate, and get some screws in. Hold it all together. And once they're drilled, we'll bolt the trial it all, make sure it all looks nice, and then we can clean it all up and go for a final assembly. Obviously we'll need to do a bit of finishing, bit of hand finishing on the radii and just make everything look nice. But yeah, not much more to do, and then we can mount it to the bike, have a look at it in all its glory. So I'm going to do a bit of work off camera, just get the holes drilled in it. You don't need to see that, I don't think. And I'll bring you back, we'll have a look at it all bolted together, and then I'll go away, clean everything up, make a nice job of it, and we'll go over to the bike. Get it in focus would help. There we go. It's only loosely attached, but you can see there it's nicely spaced off the mounting plate. We've got room to get this connector on for the low tension. HT lead is free to do whatever it desires, and yeah, very happy with the layout. I think it's going to look really nice when it's all polished up. Did you see that? Yeah, you did. So there we go. Ignition coil mounted. Bobbin d'allumage if you're in France, or Zundspool if you're in Germany. There you go. You learned something. You see, trilingual. There you go. That's all I know, but you know, it's enough, isn't it? Right, I'm going to go and do some preening and polishing and making it look nice, and I will show you the result once I've done that. Well, I hope you like that. I've rounded off all the edges, nice radii. Oh, incoming, and I've given it a bit of a clean up. You'll notice it's quite dull. There's a bit of a sheen to it, but it's not shiny. And that's because this is an aircraft grade material as well. This is Alclad. And Alclad means that it's aluminium alloy sheet with pure aluminium clad on either side of it. And the reason for that is that the pure aluminium becomes sacrificial. It kind of goes a dull grey, and it oxidizes slightly, and it prevents the aluminium alloy from corroding. So effectively it's a sacrificial layer. The problem is, if you want it to be really shiny, you effectively have to buff all of the clad off of it, and then it's no longer doing its job. It's just aluminium alloy then, so corrosion protection's gone. But you can be careful, and you can kind of give it a sheen like that. But it's going to be hidden away, so it doesn't need to be shaving mirror finish. It just needs to look quite nice and do the job. So we can get all the other bits fitted to it now, and have a look at it and see what the finished result looks like before we fit it to the. There we go then, the finished objet d'art. I'm quite pleased with it. So there's our regulator rectifier unit mounted nice and rigidly, and the cables that will connect to the wiring loom from the bike. We've got our blue cable down here, which if you're using, bring it a bit closer, if you're using 6 volt, you keep the blue sort of blue loop intact. If you're using 12 volt, which we are, you snip it. And I've just capped them with some heat shrink so that they don't short out or anything, and they're weatherproof. So now we're on 12 volts. Got our ignition coil HT lead nice and free to go where it needs to. We've got our CDI unit with the various wiring looms go to mate up with the bike, and the low tension connectors coming round, bonded to the earth there, bonded to the ignition coil mounting, and the low tension feed there going into the coil. And then we've got another bonding lead which goes down to an engine mounting bolt, just to make sure that the coil is bonded to the engine. That can run down the spine and bond to one of the rear engine bolts. So that's it, ready to go on the bike. I'm really pleased with the result. I think it looks nice and neat. I may put some P-clips on. I might put a P-clip on the back there just to hold those cables and to hold this cable. Just drill an extra hole in there, put a P-clip on, just keep everything nice and tidy. We'll see what it looks like when it's on the machine. And there it is from the back with our CDI control box. See the back of the coil there, and our nice Simmons nuts holding everything together. So let's get it fitted to the bike, have a look at it, and then we can move on to manufacturing a wiring loom and actually starting to get everything connected together. But I'm really pleased that, you know, there's a bit of me, if you like, going into the bike, a handmade piece which will stay with the bike, and we'll have to get a sticker on there, won't we, to you know, notify anyone who did the work. But I don't know where we'll put it, there's not much room, but we'll see. Anyway, enough self-congratulation, and let's get on and do some more work. Okay, you're seeing the B175 from above, and all that really remains in this video is to fit the mounting plate, CDI mounting plate, with our 2 P-clips, a couple of screws. We're using M5 screws because that's the size of the hardware, the holes in the P-clips rather. So let's do it. Hopefully I won't drop everything on the floor and kick the camera over. But probably will, in all fairness. So they just go on there like this. We'll just get them sort of roughly positioned and the screws started, and then we can figure out exactly where we want it to go, close to the headstock as possible. Oop. I'd have grabbed all the screws and washers and spring washers and stuff, shouldn't I? To reach over there and grab them now. Right. There we go. Don't spring off, don't spring off, don't spring off. Don't spring off, don't spring off. You got to do this. You've got to tell it. Otherwise it'll spring off. It probably will anyway. But at least you've told it. There's one started. I will get you in a better position so you can actually see the finished result when we're done. Just move that a bit. Yeah. about there, I think. Yeah, I'll bring the camera down so that you actually get a side-on view. Maybe we'll even slip the tank on and make sure that you can't see it. Shouldn't be able to. It's all gone horribly wrong if you can. There we go. Kind of fighting against the springiness here. Make it a bit easier by bringing it round a bit. There we go. That's it. That is what we wanted. Get that one started. Okay, 2 screws started. Kind of equilibrium. Oh yeah, liking that. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? Not a great deal. Not a great deal. Right, hang on. I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to reposition you, try and get you a better view. And that is marginally better, I think. You can see a bit more. Oh. It's a good place for it. It's leveled up a bit. Just a tiny bit further down. Get a lot of HT lead. Don't know where they're expected to mount the coil, but yeah, a lot of HT lead. We're in Oxfordshire. You can pretty much mount it in Northampton and get away with it. Yeah, we'll have to do something about that. Right. Tighten up these fasteners. Might need to go a little bit further up to headstock, but I don't want it too close. I don't want any sort of interference between the reg rec and the frame, because we'll just get resonance. Okay, I'm just going to put them through there for now, just to get them out of the way. Probably do need some sort of P-clippage. I may alter the jaunty angle. Oh no, I don't think I will alter the jaunty angle that the CDI box is on, because this cable that comes out of the CDI box runs along the frame there quite nicely, and the cable that comes out of the engine, out of the stator, will run up there, hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe not, Dean. Maybe it just runs up the spine of the frame. Yeah, I think that might be it. Runs up the spine of the frame and connects in here. Like that. It's quite nice that they use these super seal connectors, don't know why they don't use them everywhere. And there's the two connectors from the AC output. Obviously, we'll need to tidy all this up, figure out where everything has to go to make it look neat when we do the wiring harness. For now, that's how it goes. That's for now. I'm not going to connect those up. I'm just going to tuck them back through there. We'll make all this nice and neat, obviously. Bring that in. Right. Grab the fuel tank. What to do with it? That's over there. Grab the fuel tank. And we'll make sure that everything is nicely hidden when the tank is fitted. I'm not going to bolt it into position, I'm just going to hold it where it would go. There. And that would sit like that. So apart from a few wires dangling down, which will be tied up out of the way, cannot see any of the mounting plate. It's completely hidden. It might help if I dropped you down a bit more. There you go. Apologies for the poor lighting. That's where the tank would sit normally. As you can see, the spaghetti hanging down, but that will all be tidied up and not incorporated into the wiring harness because we're going to keep this separate. Wiring harness will be a component that can be removed from the bike, as they should always be, and it will interact with the these modern electronics only in so much as the DC outputs will connect into the loom, into the wiring harness, and that's the only interaction this modern system will have with the new wiring harness. So we'll separate the two systems out. But I'm very happy with that. It's worked out well. And all thanks to Bones and his genius idea of mounting CDI system on a mounting plate under the tank on his systems. And yeah, it's worked well for us too. And if you're not familiar with Bones, go over and see his YouTube channel, Tony Farmer. He's over in Australia, and he is doing lots and lots of stuff with Bantams and other bikes as well. Well worth a visit. But I'm sure that quite a lot of you already watch his stuff. And he's a good mate of mine as well. We talk very regularly. Great guy. Right. We'll close out the video at that. I'm very pleased. Right guys, that's it for this video. I'm just going to take the opportunity to sit on this fine example of a B175, and yeah, I'm really pleased with the progress that I've made so far, and it's looking pretty good. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I'm very pleased with the result on the CDI mounting plate. Thanks to all of the new subscribers that have come along. New friends are always welcome. So thanks very much, and I hope that you're enjoying the stuff that I'm doing in here. And to all my existing friends who have been with me for some time, thank you very much indeed for your continued support and for sticking with me. If you're watching and you haven't yet subscribed, the surefire way to make sure you know when one of my videos comes out is to hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell, and then you get a notification. And it helps me out as well because it keeps me relevant on YouTube, and you know, keeps the views coming in, so keeps the channel growing. So that's always good. What's next? Don't really know. Maybe we'll do some work on the D7. It's had its new carburetor fitted, so we need to get out on that and give it a run, and maybe do some tuning. And then on this bike, I've got all the components for the wiring harness finishing off the wiring, so we might get onto that as well. But it just depends really. We'll see what we've got time for. But whatever it is, it will be based in this mid-nibble workshop, which I need to tidy up. But thanks again for watching, and mind how you go. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.